Second, the motion to pay tribute to the Commander-in-Chief.
Provide some funds in societies, create a market for these products.
Securing our country. Right Honorable Speaker, I was born and raised in KARAMOJA. I grew up hearing bullets. I grew up knowing that we have to hide and run for our lives, for safety. I grew up knowing that bullets were a medium of exchange in our markets. I grew up seeing boys and men carrying guns in their shoulders and using it as their walking sticks, and they could use it on anyone who offends them. It was extremely insecure growing up in that part of the country. Before my parents died, every evening as they returned home alive, we celebrated, because at least we knew that we were one day short of being orphans. That is the story for every child that has grown in KARAMOJA. At that time, the guns in our region exceeded the number of guns in some of the ESC countries. It seemed impossible that insecurity would be solved. It seemed impossible that guns would go silent at some point. Until 2006, when against all odds, against all the negative publicity, the UPDF, under the able leadership of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, took a bold step to disarm the people of KARAMOJA. It was not an easy task. I witnessed the disarmament process. I witnessed when the soldiers died. The commanders, I saw their bodies in parts of KARAMOJA. I am a witness to the level of sacrifice of the men in uniform, the UPDF. At some point I asked myself, what was the motivation? Up to today, I cannot find the answers. That spirit of sacrifice, the revolutionary spirit, I do not know how the Commander-in-Chief inculcated that revolutionary spirit in the UPDF. A spirit that doesn't see impossibilities. In 2010, and exercise, Madam Speaker, in 2010 up to 2007, for the first time in my life, I slept without hearing a bullet. And it's the same for the people that lived in KARAMOJA. For 7 consecutive years, the UPDF proved to us that it was possible to pacify that part of the country. In 2018, we imagined that KARAMOJA was now peaceful and the UPDF had to be deployed to secure some other parts of the country. As if these criminals knew that the people that had subdued them were now going. They came back. And that was the insecurity we were debating in this house when I seconded a motion of Honorable Anthony Esenu. I want to thank this parliament and to thank the President of Uganda for listening to that motion, to do a second disarmament exercise. Otherwise, if they had not done that last year, maybe perhaps the members of parliament from KARAMOJA who are here wouldn't even be here now, because the situation was again bad. The UPDF have mastered the art of dealing with the criminal elements in KARAMOJA, especially those who carry their guns and misuse it to destroy the peace of others. I want to stand here to support the cause of the UPDF, to support that if a budget appears in this parliament the way it has been appearing, we just maintain it. Right Honorable Speaker, in the same revolutionary spirit that the NRM subdued the gun in KARAMOJA. I have the conviction that in that spirit they can subdue the scourge of poverty in that region, a region that has continuously reduced the numbers of wealth creators in the country, that has spoiled the indicators of this country. I have a strong belief that if we attack this menace with the same revolutionary spirit, and the UPDF can deliver it for us, that we will be there with the rest of the country on the same line. Right, Honorable Speaker, it is my appeal that even as we celebrate these great achievements of the UPDF, not only in KARAMOJA, but in the country as a whole, that the transition from insecurity to sustainable peace doesn't be rushed, that the withdrawal or the decline of the UPDF in KARAMOJA should not be rushed. Otherwise, the same criminal elements who came back in 2018 can come back fierce and worse than they were in 2018, and they could harm our people the more. That is my appeal, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the second appeal, given the level of the orphans, the number of the orphans that this war created in this belt of the country, not just in KARAMOJA, in West Nile, in Acholi, in Lango, and in KARAMOJA, the statistics indicate that over 60% of our children are actually orphaned. Perhaps that's the reason we're having a crisis of teenagers whom we don't know how to deal with. It is my appeal that government will consider a special fund to support the orphans that have come up as a result of the war. I submit, Right Honorable.
In education, you have a motion.
This is the second point. Seeking for homestead incomes, free education in government schools. We have been begging from 1990, it's almost 30 years now. UPE, they put charges. If there are unmet costs, bring them. You are members of parliament. I'm president here. You are there. We budget together. You come from those areas. You come and we budget. Let's block all these other expenditures. And we provide free education for the children in the government schools. Don't go and say, I am paying for children in my constituency. How many are you paying for? 10. How will 10 children in a constituency, apart from putting you in debt, solve the problems? Huh? You are killing yourself, you are killing the children, you are doing nothing. Listen to the NRM. Let's have free education in government schools. Those who have money to build private people, they can go to private schools, the children of the rich. I started my school in Okwang near my village in Bariregi. I had calculated there that if I could give capitation grant of so much, there will be no other school costs which are not made. The capitation grant is sent, but I think they still charge school fees. I have got free schools in Chisozi. They don't pay any cost. They study. It can be done. So, free education, if we want our people to get out of poverty. The skilling hub. There's a skilling hub in Gulu here. There's a skilling hub in Gulu here. There's a skilling hub in Ajumani. I'm sure there's a skilling hub in Lira, in Ilango. Maybe what we can do is because what I do, my state house controller takes equal numbers from each district. Maybe we can increase the numbers who come from each district. But we are moving. And the only other issue, people, if you support me, the only other issue I had was that you train and give kits to go back with, instead of training and then you go back with empty hands. So we can fine-tune that, and we never believe in sectarianism. So the first reason why we are able to do what NAKUT, I thought NAKUT was a cadre. Now I've discovered she's still a Karamojong. Because NAKUT was saying, I can't understand why these people, why they sacrifice so much. Yes, if you are convinced, we are always celebrating Martyrs Day in Namugongo on the 3rd of June. Young people who refused to denounce religion and they were killed by Mwanga. On the 9th of May, we are already celebrating Martyrs Day, Heroes Day. For us, we are not just martyrs, we are heroes. We have both martyrs, but also we have heroes, because martyrs die without resistance. Heroes, they can kill you if you are not careful, as you try to kill them. So on the 9th, we celebrate the Heroes Day. People who stood because of conviction. If you are convicted of something, you will stand. So the first reason how we were able to do what these other groups failed to do is because of ideology. Secondly, discipline. What NAKUT was saying, how the cattle rustling came back in 2018, it was not just the removal of the troops. There were also some mistakes by our commanders, corruption. They stole the money of the LDUs. You know, we had KARAMOJA LDUs, and they stole their money. They didn't pay them. And you know how confused the KARAMOJA groups are. So they said, okay, so if you are not paying us, we are going to raid. That's how it all started. There was also another man, I've forgotten his name. Is it Achuchu? Achuchu, the one whose wife they took when he was in jail. And when he came from jail, he said, you better repress my wife who was taken. They just looked at him. He went and raided cattle to buy another woman. That's how it all started again. So it was the carelessness of our people, the corruption. But the third reason how we succeed is the Manyankole proverb, Okum toguri enshujun kuitegwa. You make the hairstyle according to the shape of the head. If you have got a head with big bones like this, the hairstyle will follow the shape of the head. When we are budgeting, this is very important for you fellows. How could we build such a powerful army with very little money? Because we budget we plan according to our small budget. That's why when we are building the army, we don't start with the barracks. The barracks don't look so smart. We start with the personnel, the training, and the weapons. Soldiers are staying in some Mama Ingia Pole, but the one in Mama Ingia Pole can also kill you, like the one coming from a Gorofa. So that's how we have been managing. If you look at the budget of Uganda, it was like $500 million some years ago. You look at the budgets of other African countries, big, billions. So I thank you for coming here to have the meeting here, and you have heard my views. I submit.